Good evening. Let us just have this doubt session for this week. We will have with us a futures problem to get started with. There are two futures problem that we have. One, we have it in the Institute study material, problem number 10. The other one, this I have already circulated a little long time back, maybe 1.5 months back. Yes, Rajagopalan will read out this problem now. Come on.
Sreeram Corporation is a US-based medium-sized import-export company. It is now 1st December 2022 and transactions have been contractually agreed. 1. Sale of Sprockets cash received due 1st February of GBP 1,97,000. Purchase of raw material invoice payable 1st May of for GBP 4,47,000. Sale of Sprockets GBP 1,54,000. Cash received 1st May. Dollar for each GBP forex rates are as follows. Spot 1.7106 is to 1.7140. Forward for 1st February 0.82 is to 0.77 cents. Forward 1st May 1.39 is to 1.34 cents. GBP futures contract size GBP 25,000. GBP March contracts $1.7125 GBP. June $1.71 GBP interest rates 10.8% is to 12.6%. Dollar percentage 6 is to 9%. Required hedge LM foreign exchange risk exposure on the forward market. Hedge LM foreign exchange risk exposure on the money market. Ignore transaction costs.
You carry on.
But not the time value of money. Compare the forward market hedge outcome with money market hedge. Calculate the hedge efficiency that LMN could achieve on its foreign exchange risk exposure using a foreign exchange future market hedge. If 1st February spot dollar per GBP 1.7020 is to 1.7055. March GBP contracts dollar 1.7025. 1st May spot dollar is to per GBP 1.6280 is to 1.6320. June GBP contracts dollar 1.63. Briefly state why hedging using currency futures is not likely to be 100% efficient. That is not a perfect hedge.
The Jack character ka paranga. Jack. Rajagopalan. Can you just come here? Venkat Raj is having some problem. See, we understand.
We'll proceed with the question actually. He can hear you from there itself. So I don't think reading the question will be a problem. We'll first proceed with the class.
Right. LMC is a US-based company. It's a US-based company. Today it is 1st of December. We have one receipt by 1st of February. The other one also we have a receipt as well as payment maturing 1st of May. Venkatraj, you just listen to me. You can hear, no? So firstly, listen to me. So we have 1st of February and 1st of May are the two dates on which we got to hit this exposure or not. So for the first one, it is 1,97,000 pounds. And on the second date, it is $154,000. Sorry, pound shilling. 154,000 pound shilling, 197,000 pound shilling, GBP. See, when it comes for payment, payment is exceeding this 447,000 pounds. So any prudent businessman would like to take up only the net exposure, regardless of the fact whether you are using forward or money market hedging or futures, right? So 154 to be deducted from 447. It comes to 293. GBP net. So which will result in an outflow. Correct. This is what firstly we should have in mind. So therefore you can say there are two dates on which you are getting into hedging. One by 1st of February, the other one by 1st of May. The first one with 197,000 GBP, 293,000 by 1st of May. Right. Now the question is very clear regarding what will be, how will you do that on a forward hedge for both? So I would like to put it this way: under examination condition, if a question is asked like that, you do it column wise. I mean simultaneously. 1st of February, 1st of May. You just take up or note down the exposure 197,000 pound shilling and 154,000 pound shilling, and the forward rate or the forward rates are, we all know that they have not given it as outright forward.
293, pa.
Huh?
293.
No,
293.
we will take up 293. 293 pound shilling. So when it comes for forward rate, they have not given it as outright forward. They have given it as spot plus or minus swap points. So now let us just know about what swap points we are expected to use. So this is a receivable exposure. This is payable exposure. And always I tell in the very first class itself whether the transaction and the quote are compatible. What is a transaction? Transaction is to pay or receive pound shilling, GBP. The quote is for GBP. How do we know that? You mentioned for 1 GBP, how many dollars? We are very fortunate that the transaction and the quote are compatible. So there is no need for us to change the transaction nor the quote. So therefore, as such, we will take it up. First point. Second point is that spot, and if that be the case, for receipt of foreign currency, where we have got to sell foreign currency at authorized dealers bid rate. Then for payment, we have got to pay at authorized dealers offer rate. So 1st of February bid rate, 1st of May offer rate. That's it. We don't have to calculate for all the four. That is bid rate and offer rate for 1st of February bid rate and offer rate. 1st of May bid rate and offer rate. No need. So these are the places where we can save time. So think for a moment, think for one extra half a minute and decide. Don't waste your time by computing the bid rate and offer rate for both the dates, and this will save your time. Right. So I want on this particular date the bid rate 1.706 and 0.82 cents. 100 cents will make 100 cents will make $1, and 1 cent is, sorry, 100 cents will make $1, and here what they mentioned is 0.82 cents. So therefore 0.82 cents equal to 0.0082. Correct. So therefore 1st of February bid rate is 1.7106. Since these are all high and low, it is not low and high, they're all discount swap points. So we are expected to deduct 0082 from this. 0082 from this. Now let us just find out the rate. 1.7106 minus 0.0082. So this comes to 1.7024. Then let us just proceed for 1st of February. For 1st of February, once again, it is discount swap points, but in the offer we are expected to take up. So 1st of February, 1st of May, 1st of May, 1.7140 minus on the same lines we are expected to do, but in this case, it is 0.0134. So please understand that it is 1.34 cents. Now let us just take up 1.714 minus 0.0134. So it comes to 1.7006. Now the value on the respective dates of maturity being, we are simply expected to multiply because this is for 1 pound shilling, so many dollars. So $197,000 multiplied by 1.7024. So it will be $335,373. $293,000 into 1.7006. That comes to 498,276. 498,276. This is what you have for forward exposure. Right. Then comes item number B. We have the next one as money market hedging. We have money market exposure. Under that, it is exposure so much. We know that there are 8 steps, 9 steps that we will be taking up. Exposure, term, rate of interest, present value of exposure, then spot
rate,
then spot rate, then
borrowing or
depositing or borrowing. Once again, term, rate of interest, and maturity value of deposit or borrower. Now, always remember, whenever you have a problem like that, take that extra half a minute and in one shot we can finish them off. 197,000 pound shilling, 293,000 pound shilling, receipt and payment. Term 2 months, and here it is 4 months. How come? We have already seen the time space. We have December and January, only 2 months. Here we have February and we will have February, March and April. So it is for additional 3 months, so 5 months. Correct. So December, January, and here we have February, March as well as April, 5 months. So rates of interest. So in the case of receivable exposure in the foreign country, we are expected to discount the bill, so borrowing rate. And in the foreign country, we are expected to deposit. So borrowing rate will always be higher, deposit rate will always be lower. So that is in London. We are an US based company. Now look into the rate, GBP rate, 10.8 is deposit rate, 12.6 is the borrowing rate. So 12.6 percentage, and in this case, 10.8 percentage. So the term structure is flat. We are very fortunate that for 2 months as well as for 5 months, the interest rate is going to be same. However, it will be taken up on per annum basis. So present value of exposure. And the opposite is what we are expected to do. Here, in this case, deposit, and there, in this case, borrowing in US dollar. So 6 and 9, 6 and 9 percentage, right? So present value of exposure, let us just do that operation. 0.126 divided by 12 into 2. Memory plus 1 also memory. 197,000 divided by this number comes to 192,948.
One minute. இது வந்து மாத்தி வராதோ?
What do you mean by
Deposit
Mati
borrowing.
Arado? You speak in English.
Deposit and borrowing rate, is it not upped? First one is receivable, second one is payable. So
See, let me just explain to you. I think you have lost your basics. US
No.
and UK, please
I have already done
listen.
this problem. Okay,
No,
right.
you just keep quiet for some time. So let me just explain. US and UK. So in the foreign country, I have so much of exposure, 197 thing, 187,000 GBP, and I got to take up present value of exposure and take up maturity value of borrowing. So listen carefully. When I have an exposure there as 1,97,000, I am asking my customer to pay yearly, where he says he will not pay. Right? This is receivable exposure. Please understand. I am asking him to pay by offering some discount that he is not interested with that. Therefore, what is that we do? We will leave that particular person and we will discount this with a banker. Therefore, it is borrowing. So borrowing rate is a higher rate, right? Understood? Rajagopala?
Understood.
Are you clear now?
Yes.
Right. So 192,948 is the present value of exposure. Spot rate. We have already got for the first of, that is for receiving exposure, it is a bid rate. So spot bid rate is what we have to take up, 1.7106, because from here, when we have just come, it is 192,948. Since we have come to M0, so we are expected to use the spot bid rate, which is 1.7106. 6% is the rate per annum. Now let us just take it up on pro rata basis. 0.06 divided by 12 into 2 plus 1 into 192,948. So that comes to 194,877. 194,877 is the number there. Present value of exposure for the other case, let us just do that. 0.108 divided by 12 into 5. Memory plus 1 also memory plus 293,000. 293,000 divided by the PV factor that we have taken up, it comes to 280,383. Please confirm the number. Please confirm the number, Rajagopala. Yes. Vanessa is telling that it is right. So 280,383. So now let us just take up 280,383 multiplied by 1.7140. That gives you see here in between, I just not taken up one number. There is one function I've completely ignored. I will just do that. I committed the mistake. I have not converted them into local currency. That I have failed to do that. 192,948 multiplied by 1.7106. So it is 330057. So this is the sum that I have to convert in the present market deposit term one line I missed. Similarly, in the other case, 280,383 multiplied by 1.714. That comes to 480,576. So rate of interest 6% and 9%. 0.06 divided by 6 plus 1 into 330057. That comes to 333 or 333358. Please confirm this number. Similarly, 0.09 divided by 12 into 5 plus 1 into 480,576. That comes to 498,598. Please confirm this number. As far as computation is concerned, please confirm this. Rajagopalan, Pavan, Vanisa, Venkatraj.
First one is right. 333,358.
How about for the next one? Why would it be wrong? Please confirm it simultaneously.
Right.
Right. See, now look into the question as how it is communicated. So hedge, LMs, forex risk exposure on the forward market and on the money market. Right. Next, ignoring transaction cost but not the time value of money. Compare forward hedge outcome and money market hedging. So they are asking not the time value of money, ignoring time transaction cost but not the time value of money. Okay, they're asking us to not to ignore, that is consider. So between the two, we are expected to select the one 335373 333358. So this is first one is a receipt. I consider this receipt is better, a higher amount of receipt. And in the case of payment, marginally we are finding we are paying a little less. So here it is 598 and there it is 290, 276. Right. So I consider between the two, forward hedging is to be selected both for receivable as well as for payable exposure. Correct? ABC over. Now D has come. Calculate the hedge efficiency that LM Incorporation could achieve on its forex risk exposure using forex futures market hedge. If 1st of February spot 1.7020 hyphen 1.7055. March GBP contracts 1.7025. 1st of May 1.6280, 1.6320. June GBP contracts 1.63. Right. So the problem that we have worked out so far in the class, where they've given you exactly the rates on the date of maturity. But practically what is happening, let me just tell you that we do not have that convenient futures date on the any day of maturity. It is not like that. So we have March, June, September and December. So March futures you will have, June futures you will have, September futures will have, then December futures we have. So any exposure that is coming up in between for which this is going to be the future, nearest future maturity date is what we will take it up. Same is the way when you have 1st of February, it is going to be March futures we will be taking up. For 1st of May, it is going to be June futures we will be taking up. And these two are not relevant for this particular problem. But generally speaking, anything post June will be taken up with September, provided the maturity is falling on or before September. Similarly, for any maturities falling after September but before December, it is December futures that we have got to take it up. Are you understanding? Supposing your house is located closer to a particular junction here, we will get ourselves dropped and we will walk this distance or maybe take a rickshaw or a taxi to this distance. This is the way we normally do, no? See, that common sense only will prevail there. So why would I take up for June? Why would I take up for 1st of February, June? So it is one junction away. So therefore, the nearest one is what we got to spot. So this is the one that we are not exposed to in the problems that institute had just given to the problem that we have before us. How we have to crack it. See, now let us just understand basically number of contracts that we are expected to work out. That is basically we can do exactly by using the futures rate, or you can use the spot rate to find out the number of contracts. So now let us just know about that. This is item number D. So for receipt and for the payment, let us know about the exposure. The exposure is going to be 197,000 and 293,000. And we have GBP 25,000. This is also in GBP. This is also in GBP. And one contract is going to be 25,000. So number of contracts in all other problems, we would convert them and then do, because the contract will be denominated in some other currency. We may convert it and then check it up. Whereas we are very fortunate in this case, 197,000 divided by 25,000 should give you 7.88, that being 8 contracts. Then comes 2,93,000 divided by 25,000, that comes to 11.72. So you can make it out as 12 contracts. Is that okay? Say yes or no? One moment. Are you clear? Do you have any thought on this particular process? Please let me know. Rajagopalan, Pavan, Venkatraj, Vanisa, are you clear about this?
Sir, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Tell.
Suppose if the contract for was in for said dollars, we need to convert that one contract equal to how many dollars as how many pounds, and then we see now how many contracts we should.
We are very fortunate. Yes, you are right. In the problems that we have worked out so far from the institute study material, the exposure will be in one currency, the contract will be denominated in another currency. There will be a requirement for us to convert the futures contract denominated in a different currency to the currency in which the exposure is done for that particular firm. So we will have here pound shilling. This may be in dollar. Dollar will be converted into pound, and then we will be finding out. Whereas in this particular case, we are very fortunate that the contract denomination of one contract and the exposure denomination are falling in the same currency. Therefore, in the very first place itself, we are doing this. In all other problems that we have seen so far from the institute material, we have seen exposure will be in different currency, whereas the futures contract will be denominated in another currency. So this sort of division, 197,000 divided by 25,000, we will not be in a position to do it immediately. A reason is that you would be finding this 25,000 a pound shelling and 197,000 pound shelling are in the same currency, so it is easy to do it. Whereas the problems that we have seen in the institute material, exposure will be in different currency, contract multiplier will be, or I mean the contract, there is one futures contract may be denominated in another currency. So to bring out a compatibility, we convert one futures contract into a compatible exposure denominated currency, and then we will be finding it out. So this problem becomes easier for us to find out in the very first place, that the struggles that we have underwent in other problems, we do not have it in this particular case. Is that okay? Pavan, Rajagopalan, Vanisa and Venkatraj.
Yes, sir. Understood.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So this is, yeah, good. So this is what you have it in the very first place, right? So which normally we will never do it in other problems. So therefore it is a matter, the matter of convenience or a sort of a comfort level that you are having it now. Now, apart from that, as I told you that for 1st of February, we are expected to take up March contract 1.7125. For June, it is $1.71. And here they have mentioned in the futures market on this particular date, where to be on 1st of February, they are getting all these dates. So remember that in the case of currency futures, so at spot, in underlying and in futures, we are expected to do nothing here, right? So on the date of maturity, this is spot. On the date of maturity, what is that we are expected to do? So for the first exposure, receiving exposure, where we have got to sell GBP. So therefore, in the futures, on the same date, we have got to buy futures, and because of buy futures, we got to sell futures at spot. So this is the strategy for receipt. The same thing, opposite thing, you got to do it for payment. At maturity, it is buy pound shelling, sell, and here it is buy in terms of futures. So you got to be very careful as what we are doing. In futures, we are expected to do this. Have this in your mind, right? Now let us just take up that computation right now in receiving and in paying. So I'm not talking about anything about the underlying. It is only about the futures we are talking about. At maturity and at spot, we will take up firstly receivable exposure. In receivable exposure, at spot, we got to sell, and at maturity, we got to buy. So now let us look into the rate. So first and foremost thing, March contracts would mean is only receipt. So we are not looking to June now. So 1.7125. 1.7125. Correct. So at spot, I have sold 1.725, which is there on 1st of December. We are doing all this. Okay. Now coming to the date of maturity, what is happening on that date? On that date, 1st of February, March contracts are dealt at 1.7025. 1.7025. Right. Are you clear about this one? First and foremost thing, you should be very clear about this. So correct. Please just confirm your understanding. Please confirm your understanding, please.
Can you repeat, sir?
Right. Okay, now let me just repeat. All of you just have a closer look. So coming now. Yes. Okay, now let me just explain for receivable exposure. We have at spot for underlying assets do nothing. And on the date of maturity, you sell because we are having receivable exposure, we got to sell. Opposite of selling in the futures, you got to buy. And here you got to sell. So this I will take it up later. Now I am going to take up this futures contract. So at maturity, what I do is I will buy. And at spot, I have already sold. At what rate I have engaged? 1.7125. Either you can write this spot at the top or at the bottom. That is not a matter at all. So what you do at spot and at maturity are very important. Next one, in this particular case, on 1st of February, March contracts are dealt at 1.7025. Is that right? Are you clear? So I sell and I buy. Is that right? Are you clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Right. So the difference between the two is going to be gain. Why it is gain? Selling price is greater than buying price. 0.0100. 0.0100. And you know the exposure. What is your exposure? The exposure is going to be 8 contracts into 25,000. It is going to be how much? 200,000 pound shilling. This is in terms of dollars. Is that right? Are you understanding? Now you have a gain in dollar itself. How much is the gain in dollars? 0.01 into 200,000. 2,000. Is that right? Say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Rajagopala, are you there? Venkatraj, are you in a position to follow?
Yes.
So right now we have done with futures contract. There is no necessity for us to convert this gain into another currency because I already got it in the currency in which I want to deal with. In all other institute problems that we have just seen, once again, this will get converted because this currency will be in the opposite currency, and therefore once again we will add or deduct to the exposure and finally we will get it converted. So therefore you have to be very careful with this problem. So now let us just know about what we will be doing with underlying on the date of maturity. On the date of maturity, we will receive. We will receive how many dollars we will receive? We will receive at the rate of 1.7020. We have already booked our mind that for receivable it is bid rate and our exposure is known to us, that being 197,000. So 197,000 multiplied by 1.7020. 1.7020. So this is what we would be receiving because we have done futures separately and we are exposed to the actual rate on that date. So 197,000 multiplied by 1.7020, that should give you a number of 335,294. So the total receipt will be plus 2,000. So it is going to be 337,294 is the final answer. This problem is different from that problem that we have worked out with institute study material. Please understand, because In institute study material, the contract will be denominated in the opposite currency to the currency in which we want the final dealings. Therefore, this problem is a little easier than the problems that we have just done. But since this problem is easier than the other problems, that comfort we will not be in a position to feel and we will complicate the matter. So please be careful. This is as far as the receipt is concerned. Now, if all the three were to be taken up for the purpose of discussion, you can consider that money market hedging and forward are inferior when compared to futures. So futures where it is 337, 294, which is much better figure than the other two, 333, 358, the other one being 335373. Is that clear? Are you clear about this one? Say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. So Vanessa, what was your stake on that? You were the only person responded to this question, but I have rejected your answer for this particular portion. Are you clear about this one?
Yes, sir. I've understood, sir.
Where did you go wrong?
The gain, I had to add the gain with the receivable. Instead, I deducted it.
Was that the only mistake that you committed?
The rate was also wrong, sir. I had selected the wrong rate while converting.
Are you clear now?
Yes, sir.
Pavanji, are you clear?
Well, I joined in between, sir. So to some extent, எனக்கு சத்தியமா புரியல சுத்தமா.
No. It is all in English. You have got to take it up because please let me know as this money market hedging and forward possibly you would not be there, but with the available information, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, let us just take up the same subject matter for payable exposure. Now, let us just have a closer look at what we are expected to do at maturity and at spot. What we are expected to do at maturity, we are expected to sell, and at spot, we are expected to buy. Am I right? Simple as that. It is exactly the opposite. Now, the rate we are expected to take it up 1.71. 1.71. And here for June exposure, it is 1.63. Is that right? Is that right? Now, selling price is 1.63, buying price is 1.71, which results in a loss of 0.08. Exposure, how many contracts that you have? 12 contracts. So 12 into 25,000, that comes to 300,000 pound shilling into 0.08. This results in a loss of $24,000, which has got to be added. So here also we are adding because it is received and gain is also in inflow. Therefore, we are adding. Loss will result in outflow, and this item will also a payment. Therefore, we will be adding back. So here it is going to be for 293 pounds. Sorry, 293 pounds multiplied by what rate we are expected to take up. We are expected to take up offer rate 1.6320. 1.6320. 2,93,000 into 1.6320. So that comes to 478,176. What is the total payment that you got to make plus 24,000? So it comes to 502,176. So you have the worst thing that had happened in futures, 502,176. It breached 500,000. I mean 5 lakhs. So therefore, if you are asked to comment on this, we would say futures market is the best for receivable exposure, worst for payment exposure. That is the way we can comment, and that is what we got to finally say. Is that okay, all of you? Say, sir, no, are you in a position to
Yes,
follow
sir.
this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
How about Sivagama Sundari? It may be. Are you there? I think she's not there. She tried to join. So 502-176. How about Venkatraj? Are you clear? He is clear. Okay. Yes. Okay. Are you clear about this one? Now, this is the final answer which you can take screenshot or take note in your notebook and be happy with that. And please just solve this problem before going to the examination. Before going to the examination, please just take it up. Come on. So Venkatraj is taking screenshot. How about others?
Noted down.
Right. Now there is one more problem that we have. That we have with Institute study material. CA studies. So in this problem number 10, this is the problem. Rajagopalan was just raising during this week. Yes, Vanessa, could you read out this?
Yes, sir. Ram buys 10,000 shares of X Limited at a price of rupees 22 per share, whose beta value is 1.5, and sells 5,000 shares of A Limited at a price of rupees 40 per share, having a beta value of 2. He obtains a complete hedge by Nifty futures at rupees 1,000 each. He closes out his position at the closing price of the next day when the share of X Limited dropped by 2%, share of A Limited appreciated by 3%, and Nifty futures dropped by 1.5%. What is the overall profit or loss to Ram?
Right. See, now this problem, once before during the week, I think I've just solved it. Let me just check up. No, it is not there. I will try solving it now. See, we all know that they are asking us to check up whether he or she will, that is in this particular case, he will end up with overall profit or loss. He has got 10,000 shares bought and he has got in his list 5,000 shares sold. So he has got in his portfolio so scenario number 1 and 2 and strategy is to buy underlying asset and sell underlying asset. So here numbers, price and the value, proportion, beta, portfolio beta. So numbers is talking about shares of X Limited and here A Limited. Shares of X Limited 10,022. 10,000 22, and the value of the portfolio is going to be this. Here it is 5,000 and 40. Now let us just take up. These are not on the same lines now. One is buy, the other one is sell. So we can't take up this without sign. I got to put a sign for that, isn't it? If one is buy, the other one is sell, I cannot just like that add. So now I have made this portfolio value as 20,000 up. Now I will take up 220,000 divided by 20,000, and proportion of investment in this portfolio to the total value of the portfolio is 11. And in this case, it is minus 10 and it is 1. Beta for these two are 1.5 and 2. 1.5 and 2. Portfolio beta is proportion multiplied by beta. So now what is happening is that you have 3.5 as negative beta. Now, this is basically step number 1, portfolio. Step number 2, value of one futures contract. Value of one futures contract given in the problem as 1,000. Whether it is Nifty or BSE, they have not mentioned. He obtains a Nifty future of 1,000 rupees each. Correct? We all know number of futures contract to be dealt would be portfolio value multiplied by beta divided by value of one futures contract. Isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Sorry. Here I would like to take up. $70 contracts it is coming out. How come? 20,000 multiplied by 3.5 divided by 1,000. So 70 contracts. So here we will put the minus sign and we will tell what action that we will be taking up. Sell. Because negative will always be indicating short, that being sell. Is that okay? Say yes or no. Are you clear about this one?
Yes, sir.
Right. Now, what we are expected to do at maturity, where they have indicated on the day of maturity the closing price of the next day of X Limited dropping by 2%, for A Limited appreciating by 3%, Nifty futures dropping by 1.5%. So now what would be happening for the first underlying asset, that being X Limited? X, in this particular case, it is A. Correct. So for X, A and futures. At maturity for X limited, what had happened? Dropping by 2%. Dropping by 2%, price on this date into 0.98. For in this particular case, appreciated by 3%. Into 1.03. For futures, dropped by 1.5%. Into 0.985. Correct? At maturity. At spot, what are their prices? Their prices are 22, 40 and 1,000. Is that right? Say yes or no. Difference.
Yes, sir.
Difference. I don't want to put negative sign or positive sign, indicate them as gain and the loss. Okay. Numbers are their values. Is that right to add? And I do not know, but I'm just doing it. Now I am just making it open for you to say at maturity what action or at spot what action that we are expected to do. At spot we bought, isn't it? We bought, so therefore it is sell. And here it is sell, we are expected to buy. Correct? Yes or no? So therefore, the difference between the two, bought price is 22, sell price is 21.54. This is going to be loss. Therefore, this is going to be loss. Agreed? Please let me know. The next, sell at 40, buy at 41.2 will result into loss, will result only in loss. Correct? Say yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. Then we all know sell at spot and buy at maturity. This would result in what?
Gain.
Oh, gain, huh? Okay, gain. Gain. So therefore, I am expected to add this and deduct this. 9350. Is that right? So what institute had just developed, let me just check up.
வந்து பை அது பை ஸ்பாட்ல வந்து பை ஃபியூச்சர்ஸ்
Bhaiya. But we had a negative, no?
multiplied with beta factor வந்து it will come back
3.5.
beta cannot be negative.
No,
Only the value.
beta can be negative. Beta, okay, beta cannot be in the negative. So 3.5, correct? 20,000 into minus 3.5 divided by 1,000, correct? 70. What was the question? Question is perfect hedge, no? They want a complete hedge. See here, I'm just getting the feel that my buying value is greater. So my portfolio value is 20,000 bought. So the appropriate strategy for me to have a complete hedge is to sell. So I am holding it right only, sell only.
No. It is not like that. When it is multiplied with the beta, we have to see. We cannot see just like that with shares. We should multiply it with beta. We can instead of doing it with portfolio beta, we can do it with individual beta. 2,20,000 into 1.5 like that we can do. You just see with that.
Okay, we will just try individually. So it is 2,20,000 into this beta divided by 1,000. 330, since this is bought, this is sell. Correct. Here we will have it done 2 lakhs multiplied by 2 divided by 1,000. So it is going to be buy. Correct. You are right. So naturally, this is going to be buy. Correct. This is going to be buy. This is buy means this should be sell. Correct. You are right. Rajagopalan, you are right. So therefore, this is also loss and the overall is going to be 11,450. That's correct. So Rajagopalan, that is a right factor that we can just do that. 330 sell, 400 buy, and naturally it is where I would see this with negative sign. And therefore we can take the exposure to 7 overbought, 7 buy. Correct. So 11,450 is the overall loss. See, now institute had just developed that. But the point is that you can do it this way. So this looks a pretty methodical way. Anyway, this particular portion I went wrong there. I'm just getting it rectified. So this is the way the solution has got to be drawn. So actually this question was raised by Rajagopalan and Krishnan during this particular week. That point of time I just solved and sent through WhatsApp. Then I just felt it is better that we solve it for others also. So this is the way you can make a presentation. Are you clear? Yes.
That just for the past 2 minutes I was not able to listen. Can you please repeat, sir?
From which portion onwards?
Sir, that was, we saw that in the institute study material was 11,450. How we arrived at now?
11,450 is arrived at in this fashion. So how many contracts that we are expected to sell and buy when you do it separately? So we were having a debate as whether 70 is sell or 70 is buy. So when we have done it separately, we got it 330 sell and 400 buy, resulting in 70 buy. And 70 buy, we have just done it in a different way also. What is the way? So it is 20,000 into 3.5 negative divided by 1,000. Normally for buy, it is going to be sell. Since it was negative, so opposite of sell, it is going to be buy. I will put it this way. It is 20,000 multiplied by minus 3.5 divided by 1,000 will give you minus 70. So this minus 70 cannot be taken up as sale. See, normally this is overbought. Overbought. So overbought overbought position with negative. Normally for overbought, the complete hedge is going to be sell. If this value were to be positive, then we would have taken up as sell. But it turned out to be negative of negative. So naturally it should be taken up as bought. Let me repeat. So this is a place where you got to be a little more careful. That is a place where I went wrong in my judgment. See, for a complete hedge, when your portfolio is buy portfolio, complete hedge is going to be sell futures. So when you do this exercise, what will happen is that you will have portfolio value multiplied by beta, which is expected to be normally positive, divided by value of one futures contract. So therefore, we would achieve this. Since in this problem, overall portfolio value was overbought, but beta value turned out to be negative. So therefore, the opposite of sell futures is to buy futures. So that sort of logic we can extend in this case. And Rajagopalan was just telling you don't do like that. On individual basis, you calculate how many contracts that you got to sell or buy. Since it is buy contract, in the futures, you got to sell futures using the same formula, portfolio value into beta divided by value of one futures contract. How did we arrive at this particular value? 220,000 multiplied by 1.5 divided by 1000. And similarly, in this particular case, 400, how we have got it? So it is 200,000 multiplied by 2 divided by 1000. So since you know this is sell, naturally this should be buy. In this case, when it is buy, you got to go for sell. So net of this being 70, and for which through the other formula, I am trying to justify the position that at spot, we should go for buy futures. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Are you clear? So let me just find out. Venkatraj, are you clear about that? Right. Vanessa, are you clear about this?
Yes, sir.
Rajagopalan,
Yes.
Pavanji,
Yes, sir.
right. See, now let me just find out if there were to be any other doubt that we have, we can just resit now. And try to find out solution, or else we will close at this moment. Are you clear? Okay, there is no doubt raised. So therefore, we are closing this session now. For SFM,